In today's Kremlin Files, I'll introduce an American politician with no actual experience in politics. She's a 3-time presidential candidate who never stood a chance to win anything, but still agreed to work as a spoiler candidate. Her name is of course Jill Stein. Stein's background is in medicine, and she graduated from Harvard Medical School in 1979. During the 90s, Stein turned to activism and subsequently received various environmental awards for her work. Stein began her political career by running for governor of Massachusetts in 2002, but only got 3.5% of the total vote. Her following campaigns were also massive failures, and the only election in which she managed to secure a seat was the local legislative body in Lexington. But failure never stopped Jill, as in 2012 she decided to run for president with the Green Party.
I'm Jill Stein, and I am here as a Green Party candidate for president, and I'm here to support the amazing and
Her campaign consisted of unrealistic promises of putting 25 million people to work, and from the get-go, her campaign was endorsed by Russia apologists like RT journalist Chris Hedges, Code Pink founder Medya Benjamin, and academic and genocide denier Noam Chomsky. In 2012, she received a whopping 0.36% of the total vote, and after this massive success she probably felt encouraged and empowered to run again in 2016. During her first presidential elections, she had hard time getting anyone to support her cause, so this time she decided on a different strategy. In 2015, she traveled to Moscow to attend the RT's 10th anniversary party. While there, she criticized the US foreign policy and human rights situation. She was seated together with Vladimir Putin, but somehow failed to remind him that Russian imperialism is bad and Russia should stop annexing and invading sovereign countries. For this, she blamed the language barrier between the two, even though Putin speaks pretty good English.
elected officials.
You were at Vladimir Putin's table, which is part of what is raising questions among investigators.
And can I just clarify?
Yes.
If I could clarify that there was no translator at the table. Vladimir Putin came in very late with 3 people, 3, 4, that I thought were his bodyguards.
Unlike Donald Trump, both Hillary Clinton and Jill Stein released their tax returns before the 2016 elections. Surprisingly, Stein had around $8.5 million invested in funds in industries she had harshly criticized, including energy, financial, tobacco, and defense contractors. She later accused the paper, bringing this fact up as a smear attack against her. Zero hypocrisy, 100% integrity, Mrs. Stein.
Listen, slogan. Hypocrisy. It's not what you're looking for, dash, dash. It's what you need.
Are you interested in Russian disinformation and how the Kremlin operates online? Are you tired of listening to the same old lies about NATO expansion and the decadent West versus the traditional Russia?
Please make it stop.
Then this book is for you. We recently published a book titled Vatnik Soup, The Ultimate Guide to Russian Disinformation. It introduces the Kremlin's main narratives and the people who spread them online. You can get it from Amazon or directly from the publisher. Check the links in the description. 10% of the book proceedings will be donated to Ukrainian fundraiser United24. Stein ultimately received 1% of the national vote in the 2016 elections, but she played a significant role in the swing states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, as Trump's victory margin was smaller than Stein's total votes in these key battleground states. Some have even suggested that Stein's candidacy helped Trump to win the presidency, which was probably a reason for celebrations in the Kremlin too. Naturally, the Republicans and the Russians knew that the third-party candidate could help Trump grab the presidency. Trump operative Roger Stone had previously used third-party candidates to grab votes from the Democrats, and according to a 2018 report, the Russians had launched a pro-Stein online campaign promoting Stein and her policies. In one of the most absurd conversations ever, Hassan asked Stein whether Putin was a war criminal, but she failed to condemn him as one.
And he's a war criminal who should be on trial.
Well, by implication.
You're struggling here to say something very simple. This is why people have their doubts about you in Russia.
Well,
why is Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal but not Vladimir Putin?
Well, as John F. Kennedy said.
Interestingly, she had no trouble doing the same in case of Joe Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu. Additionally, Jill's promoting the main Russian narratives about the war in Ukraine. She's repeating the lie about NATO expansion and agreeing to not move 1 inch to the east, and spreads the lie about US orchestrated coup that put the ultranationalists and neo-Nazis in power in Ukraine.
Next. Lie some more.
When asked about Crimea, Stein stated that these are highly questionable situations and that Russia used to own Ukraine.
Lie.
When asked whether Putin was an incipient despot, she answered to some extent yes, but there could be a whole lot worse, stating that we needlessly provoke him and endanger him and surround him with war games, neatly forgetting Putin's invasion starting with Chechnya in 1999. Stein was also a speaker at the Rage Against the War Machine event.
We're here to dismantle the war machine,
where Watniks and tankies gathered around to call for the end of the aid to Ukraine, bash the US and NATO, and whitewash Russia's war crimes and crimes against humanity in Ukraine. As is tradition, Jill also supports Syria's brutal dictator Bashar al-Assad.
I mean, surprise, surprise.
In 2016, the Stein campaign, with the help of the Russians,
Fucking Russians,
targeted heavily the African American population. This time they seem to be focusing on the Muslim vote in the swing states, and some surveys have indicated that this strategy has been fairly successful. Today, Stein and her supporters and promoters are running a relatively successful campaign on platforms with younger audiences, like TikTok, where she targets mostly Democrat voters. The most ironic thing about all this is that if Stein will be relatively popular among Muslims in the key battleground states, anti-Muslim and extremely xenophobic Trump will most probably win the presidency. This would also mean more support for Israel in the Middle East. Jill Stein has absolutely no path to win the presidency, but just like she did in 2016, she can help Donald Trump to win. Trump has relatively low support among the US Muslim community, which is why using Stein to get those votes is brilliant and cunning strategy.
Good strategy.
The New Republic's Peter Rotblets has claimed that Jill Stein is killing the Green Party and that they should ditch the malign and narcissist, responsible for its decline. And when you look at her achievements throughout the years, it's hard to disagree. Recently, Stein got endorsement from a powerful influencer in the far-right community. David Duke, the leading white supremacist and anti-Semite, and the former leader of the Ku Klux Klan, endorsed the Green Party candidate on his radio show.
This is David Duke. I'm going to shock a number of people. And some of my own supporters, maybe. I'm going to do what's good for white people, Europeans. I endorse for President of the United States, Green Party candidate, Dr. Jill Stein.
Stein quickly rejected Duke's endorsement, but neatly forgot her tweet from 2016 after the American billionaire endorsed Hillary Clinton for president. In the tweet, she stated that just because Hillary disavows Charles Koch's endorsement doesn't mean it isn't concerning or that she didn't earn it. So there you have it. Jill Stein appears to be the officially endorsed candidate of the KKK. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Kremlin Files, but for now, I say goodbye to you, my friends. We'll meet again soon.